Somewhere beneath the surface of every great garden, something extraordinary is happening. Billions of microscopic organisms are at work, breaking down organic matter, unlocking nutrients, feeding roots, and building a living ecosystem that no synthetic fertilizer can replicate. And at the center of all of it are worms. More specifically, what worms leave behind. In this video, you're going to learn everything there is to know about worm castings. What they are, what they do to your soil at a biological level, and exactly how to use them to grow healthier plants with less effort. Whether you're a complete beginner or someone who's been gardening for years, this is the one topic that will change how you think about feeding your plants forever. Let's get into it. Worm castings. You may have also heard them called vermicompost, worm manure, or black gold. They are, in simple terms, the digested output of earthworms, specifically composting worms like the red wiggler. Now, before you wrinkle your nose, here is what makes this so remarkable. What passes through a worm's digestive system is not just waste, it is a transformation. Raw organic material, kitchen scraps, leaf litter, decaying plant matter, enters the worm. And what comes out the other side has been fundamentally restructured at a biological and chemical level. The castings are rich in nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, the three core macronutrients that plants need to survive. But unlike synthetic fertilizers that deliver those same nutrients in a harsh, concentrated chemical form, worm castings deliver them in a way that plants can absorb immediately, gently, and without any risk of damage. They smell like fresh earth after rain. They look like rich, dark coffee grounds. And they are, without question, one of the most powerful naturally occurring soil amendments on the planet. Charles Darwin, considered the father of modern biology, spent the last years of his life studying earthworms. His conclusion? That no other creatures have played so important a role in the history of the world. He wasn't wrong. To understand why worm castings work so well, it helps to understand what happens inside the worm itself. A composting worm, the red wiggler in particular, eats roughly half its body weight in organic material every single day. As this material moves through its digestive tract, it is coated with beneficial bacteria, enzymes, and microorganisms that live in the worm's gut. By the time the material exits as a casting, those beneficial organisms have dramatically multiplied. What this means is that a worm casting is not just a fertilizer pellet. It is a living biological package, teeming with microbial life that, once introduced into your soil, continues to work long after the casting itself has broken down. Researchers have found that worm castings contain 5 to 10 times more nitrogen than ordinary topsoil, 7 times more phosphorus, and 11 times more potassium. But beyond raw nutrient numbers, worm castings contain something that no bag of synthetic fertilizer ever could: the living infrastructure of a healthy soil ecosystem. Fungi networks, beneficial bacteria, enzymes, natural plant hormones called auxins and cytokinins. These are the things that make plants not just survive, but genuinely thrive. Let's talk about what actually happens when you introduce worm castings into your garden. The first thing, and this is the one most people feel surprised by, is that worm castings improve the physical structure of your soil. Most gardeners think about fertilizer as something that feeds plants, and it does. But before a plant can feed, the soil itself needs to be the right structure. Compacted soil suffocates roots. Soil that drains too fast dries out before roots can absorb water. Soil with no organic matter can't hold nutrients long enough for plants to use them. Worm castings fix all three problems simultaneously. The organic matter in castings binds soil particles together into what scientists call aggregates. Small, stable clusters that create both structure and pore space. The result is soil that holds water without becoming waterlogged, soil that breathes, soil that roots can move through freely. One study found that adding worm castings to soil increased water retention by up to 22%, That matters enormously during dry spells. It matters for container gardeners whose pots dry out fast. And it matters for anyone trying to grow in heavy clay soil or sandy soil that holds nothing. The second thing is microbial activation. When you add worm castings to your soil, you are essentially inoculating it with billions of beneficial microorganisms. These microbes are the engine of a healthy soil ecosystem. They break down organic matter into plant-available nutrients. They outcompete and suppress harmful pathogens. They form symbiotic networks with plant roots, networks that extend a plant's effective reach for water and nutrients far beyond what roots alone could achieve. Dead soil, soil that has been repeatedly doused in synthetic fertilizers, has almost none of this microbial life. Worm castings begin to rebuild it. The third thing is natural disease suppression. This is where the science gets genuinely fascinating. The beneficial bacteria and fungi introduced by worm castings directly compete with harmful pathogens. Organisms like Fusarium, Pythium, and Botrytis that cause root rot, wilting, and leaf disease. Research published in the journal Applied Soil Ecology found that plants grown in vermicompost amended soil showed significantly reduced incidence of disease compared to plants grown in conventional or unfertilized soil. You are not just feeding your plants, you are building their immune system. The fourth thing is pest deterrence. This one surprises most people. Plants grown in worm casting-enriched soil produce stronger cell walls and generate more of the natural compounds that soft-bodied insects, aphids, whiteflies, spider mites find unappealing. The chemistry of a healthy plant is different from the chemistry of a struggling plant. Pests target the weak. Worm castings help your plants signal strength. The fifth thing is that worm castings are completely burn-proof. With synthetic fertilizers, application rate matters enormously. Too much and you chemically burn roots. You damage the soil biology. You create toxic salt buildup. With worm castings, it is essentially impossible to overdo it. You can apply them directly to seedlings at their most vulnerable stage. You can side dress fruiting plants in full flower. You can use them on herbs, vegetables, fruit trees, container plants, anything, without risk. This alone makes them a fundamentally different kind of input than anything you'll find in a bag of chemical fertilizer. Now let's get practical. Here is exactly how to use worm castings in your garden. Method 1. Soil amendment at planting time. Before you plant, whether in a raised bed, container, or in ground, work worm castings into the top few inches of soil. A ratio of 1 part castings to 4 to 5 parts soil is ideal. This gives your plants the best possible start. Method 2. Top dressing. For established plants, sprinkle castings around the base of the plant, roughly a half cup to 1 cup depending on plant size, and work gently into the surface. Water in. Repeat every 4 to 6 weeks through the growing season. Method 3. Seedling starter. When starting seeds or transplanting seedlings, add a small amount of worm castings directly to the seed tray or planting hole. The gentle, slow-release nutrients and microbial content give seedlings a measurably stronger start. Research from the University of California has shown that seedlings started with vermicompost exhibit faster germination, stronger root development, and higher survival rates than seedlings in conventional seed starting mixes. Method 4. Worm tea. This is where worm castings become something even more powerful. When you steep worm castings in aerated, dechlorinated water, a process that takes 24 to 48 hours, the beneficial organisms multiply dramatically, and the nutrients extract into liquid form. The resulting liquid, worm tea, delivers everything that makes castings so effective, but in a form that plants can absorb almost instantly through both roots and leaves. You can use it as a soil drench, watering plants the way you normally would. Or you can apply it as a foliar spray, misting directly onto leaves. The microbes in the tea coat the leaf surface and actively protect against fungal disease. Apply worm tea every 1 to 2 weeks during the growing season for maximum impact. If you don't have the time or space to brew your own, a quality concentrated liquid worm castings product, already extracted and ready to dilute, gives you exactly the same biological profile without the setup. We'll link to what we use in the description. A few final practical notes on application rates. For vegetable gardens and raised beds, top dress with 1 cup of castings per square foot every 4 to 6 weeks. For containers and pots, mix in 2 to 3 tablespoons per inch of pot diameter at planting time, and top dress monthly. For seedlings, a pinch in each tray cell or transplant hole is sufficient. For fruit trees and shrubs, apply 2 to 4 cups in a ring at the drip line in early spring and again in midsummer. For lawns, a thin broadcast application of castings in spring is one of the most cost-effective ways to improve lawn health organically. One important note: sunlight degrades the microbial life in castings and worm tea quickly. If you're applying tea, do it in the early morning or early evening. Keep any unused tea out of direct sun and use brewed tea within 24 to 48 hours of making it for maximum potency. The key with any organic soil program is consistency over intensity. A smaller amount applied regularly will outperform a large application done once a season. The healthiest gardens in the world are not the ones drenched in synthetic inputs. They are the ones where the soil itself is alive. Worm castings are one of the simplest, most science-backed ways to begin building that living soil. Regardless of whether you're gardening in a backyard bed, a rooftop container, or a few pots on a windowsill. Start small. Be consistent. Watch what happens. If you found this useful, subscribe to the channel. Every week we break down organic growing science in plain language, from soil biology to specific crops, so you can grow with confidence. The link to our worm castings concentrate is in the description below. Completely optional, but it's what we use and it works. We'll see you in the next one.